It's time for another Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast, and this time we are reprising one of our best of podcasts, and this is one of the more popular ones, and it is about the courthouse lights. And Newton looking very festive this year, not only with the courthouse lights once again being brought back by the Knight family and many other folks who have contributed to the courthouse lighting fun, but also the holiday lights, the tremendous Christmas experience, and even the splash pad being decorated. And we'll be talking with Steve Knight in just a couple moments about that. We had a great response the first time around with this, so that's why we're bringing this back in a best of podcast that we did with Steve here about a month ago. And when you see those courthouse lights, know that Ryan and his crew at Ryan's Tire and Auto on First Avenue Newton was a big part of that, because back in October, Ryan posted on Facebook that they were able to donate $2,000 to the Courthouse Lighting Fund, and he says, we couldn't do this without the loyalty of his customers. Ryan said his dad, who in 2025 sadly passed away, loved the holiday lights, and so does he and his family. He says, my team and I always will be there for Jasper County, doing the right things in business and the right things for the community. He says, thank you, Jasper County, your friend, Ryan Dannon at Ryan's Tire and Auto on First Avenue in Newton. Ryan, a great guy, and there's a picture of Ryan and one of his co-workers there at Ryan's Tire and Auto presenting a check to Steve Knight for the courthouse lights. So that is absolutely fantastic that Ryan and his crew there were able to present that check to Steve Knight to keep those beautiful courthouse lights going. Another fine sponsor is Newton Clinic. They've been with us since the get-go. And as the year winds down, it's the perfect time to check your health. Many insurance plans reset on January 1st, so don't let your yearly benefits go unused. Whether you still need your annual physical, blood work, or routine screenings, hey, folks at Newton Clinic here to help you finish the year feeling your best. Call Newton Clinic today to schedule your appointment. Go to newtonclinic.com, and don't forget their new provider, Kinsey Heiser. They're excited to introduce her. She's the newest provider at Newton Clinic. She's taking new patients at Newton Clinic. Another fine sponsor, Advantage Credit Union. You want to stop on in and say hi to everybody at Advantage Credit Union, and congratulations to Jeff Holshoe, one of the new city council folks on the city council, volunteering his time for public service. Jeff going to be a great addition to the city council. And another fine sponsor also, the Salvation Army in Newton, still looking for bell ringers in the Red Kettle campaign.
Hi, this is Captain Tim North with the Salvation Army of Newton. This has been a challenging year for many in our community. With the help of our donors, the Salvation Army of Newton provides meals, shelter, and hope for your neighbors. Our programs are possible because of the generosity of those who give in a variety of ways. One way to help this year is to volunteer just 2 hours of your time to ring the bell at one of our Red Kettle locations. To do that, sign up at registertoring.com. We're hard at work against food insecurity and housing instability.
Did that car loan from your current financial institution, Scrooge Bank and Mistrust, put you on the high-interest naughty list? It's Santa's Little Helper Jeff from Advantage Credit Union. If you like your vehicle, but your payments are too high, we'll get you on the nice list. Sleigh ride to your new financial ho-ho-home, Advantage Credit Union. Refinancing your higher rate loan allows you to keep the car you love, just with a lower payment, and more jingle in your pocket.
Subject to credit approval. Advantage Credit Union, member NCUA.
You save a lump of cash, Scrooge Bank gets a lump of coal.
It's time for another Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast, this time with Steve Knight, who heads up the courthouse lighting in downtown Newton. And Steve, I know I talked to you about this time last year about the courthouse lighting, but for those who don't know, tell us about the history of it. I remember a time where I came back to Newton, and I don't know what radio station I was working at or what town I was living in, but my mom was so disappointed because the Board of Supervisors at that time had decided to do away with our Christmas lights that we had come to love so well and do a different kind of lights that framed the courthouse. And they were okay, but they weren't the same. But you and your dad and your family brought these courthouse lights back. So give us the history of that kind of thing that came about, Steve, and how it all happened.
Okay, well, good to be with you, Jamie, and thanks for having me. And yeah, Dad retired from Maytag in about the mid-'80s, and he didn't really care for the lighting that they had. So he started investigating, and he found out that the lights were stored over in the Warburton lumber yard, not too far off the square.
Okay.
And so he got this wild idea. Let's see if we can get the old traditional lighting back. And so he formed a committee. He contacted a few electricians in town. And I remember I went with him over to see the lights. And if you watch that movie, Chevy Chase and Christmas Vacation, those lights were rolled up in balls.
In a big ball.
In big balls. And most of the neon was broken, or everything was in disarray.
Sounds like it was a mess.
Yes, it was. But anyway, they started to work and started putting them back together. But before they did that, they had to go to the supervisors, and they said, if we can get maybe a petition going and see if people really want to have them back. So Dad was able to get 5,000 signatures in Newton and Jasper County area, and so they gave the okay. But it was about a 5-year process before they actually got the lights on the traditional way. But
And it wasn't a cheap thing to get done either.
no, it wasn't. Initially, they most of all the electricians volunteered their time.
Mm-hmm.
But there was, they had to get new cording for the lights and fix the neon and different things. So yeah, it was pretty expensive to get going. But I know that first year that they started donations, I think they took in almost $25,000.
Wow.
There was a lot of, not only folks in Newton and Jasper County, but businesses and that contributed, and they were able to get enough money to get the things fixed. And
Wow.
and then we also got Meisner Electric. They were the ones that put it up for several years until we have Van Manen now. But,
Wow.
yeah.
Just amazing that it even got done, and that you got those lights unraveled and taken care of,
Yeah.
and the mess that it was. A lot of people pitched in for that. It had to have been a challenge raising the money for all this. I mean,
Well-
how did you do it in the first place, Steve?
Well, mainly it was my dad. I was kind of a helper with him, but him and that committee, they worked hard, and I don't want to start naming names. I'll never get them all.
Yeah.
But
you start naming names and you
Yeah,
might leave somebody out. I know how that goes.
I know it was in the early '90s. I was in K-Rocks
Oh, sure.
out at the theater. And,
I almost became the DJ for that.
did you? Oh, that would have been awesome.
They had talked to me about becoming the DJ for the
Okay.
very first
Yeah,
K-Rocks,
yeah.
but I had accepted a job at a radio station in Carroll.
Okay.
I was working for KCOB, and in radio,
Yep.
you have to go from town to town and up and down the dial to make more money.
Sure.
And I accepted a job there, and I got to Carroll, and I heard about this thing called K-Rocks, and it just took off.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you were part of that whole thing.
Yeah, for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
even afterwards, I was with it for a while.
Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Yeah,
there,
well, no,
but
that's
go ahead.
fine. But they had a benefit concert with most of the folks that were actually in K-Rocks came, and they made several $100s on that. And that's kind of And Dad had some things. He had Christmas ornaments, that you could donate, maybe $10 and something like that. And, there was other things. They had a pewter plate that had the actual picture of the courthouse on it, and that's what I remember. But mainly the Newton Daily News at the time, Newton News now, it was a big partner in this, and they still are.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes, they put the thank you in there every week of the people that donate, and also they have a coupon now that if you donate $5 or more, you have a chance to flip the switch on Friday night, and that's been fun doing that.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and there's been so many of the folks, so I know. Actually, I have to say I probably know everybody. When you've been in town for 7 decades, you seem to know a lot of folks. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a labor of love for Dad. He was, he said, well, I could retire, and he had antique cars, and he could be involved with those. But he said, hey, we got to get those Christmas lights back.
Well, antique cars, I remember, you probably remember too, when I used to DJ out at Sizzlin' Sam's.
Sizzlin' Sam's,
And
you
you guys
bet.
would bring your cars out there.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
You bet it was. Well, how neat is this? And so how long has it been going on that you guys have had the Christmas lights going now, since your dad and your family brought them back, Steve?
Well, I think, I could be wrong, but I'm saying they started all this in about 87, and then it was almost 5 years, 92, I think, when they switched over to the other lighting. And Meisner's did it for several years, and then they had moved out of town, so we didn't know what we were going to do, and we had a couple other entities put it up for us, and we were thankful for that. But then Van Manen came to town, and of course we expressed that we'd like somebody to do it around this area, and they said they would, and they've been a great partner with us, and can't thank them enough.
Yeah. Can I ask how much it costs annually to get these lights up and, and run them every year? It can't be cheap.
Well, this has been 30 plus years ago now that we started, and it was right around $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to replace light bulbs, you have to replace garland. You have to repair things, and initially we would take in probably $10,000 to $15,000 a year, which would cover it and then give us a little cushion to get things repaired. It's amazing how folks give every year, and I don't really go out and have have special things to raise money. It's just a thing that Jasper County and Newton folks like, and
I don't see a lot of publicity asking for money.
No,
I do see people like Ryan Dannon on his Facebook page. Giving donations and stuff like that, but it's almost like quiet donations that people send
it really
to use.
Is. It really is, and it's I'm so thankful to the people in Newton and Jasper County that have donated through the years. It's kept it going, and it's just a love. I've had so many stories where they say, I lived out on a farm, west of town, and I can remember seeing the lights and how wonderful it was. And of course, when we were kids, I can remember coming to the square and watching the parade, and then the lights would go on, and just lots of neat memories for the holidays and Christmas season. And
people talk about planes flying over Newton, commercial airliners, just so that they can see the Christmas lights on the courthouse.
Yeah. And they did have a fundraiser one time with Johnson Aviation out there. For so much donation, they'd give you a plane ride over the courthouse. Sure,
sure.
Kind of cool.
You wanted to mention some people who are helping you out extra this year.
Well, first of all, I got to thank Newton News for that's our only advertisement is that list of folks that donate and that little coupon. Next would have to be Van Manen Electric. They're in the process of putting up the lights now, and they've been a great partner with us, and just thank them so much. And then I got to thank Adam Sparks and the crew up at the courthouse. They decorate the inside beautiful, and that huge Christmas tree and rotunda is just beautiful. And then there's a gal named Michelle Ergenbright who I work with in the Jasper County Auditor's Office that keeps me abreast of how much is coming in. And appreciate her too. There's more. I've got to thank a former Newtonite, Bruce Carmichael, for we've had two big projects going on, a new trailer.
And by the way, that trailer is beautiful.
Well, thank you. The other thing was our arches were in very disrepair. The welds are breaking. They were galvanized metal, and now we have stainless steel ones that are freestanding, which I think will really be nice.
And if you drive through downtown Newton in the next few days, you'll see that trailer, and it's got a great paint job on it. I don't know who did that, but it put the courthouse lights on the trailer, and it's like a big commercial for you.
Well, it is, and we were going to leave it up till the night. Well, till the night of the lighting, and actually it'll leave, and it's going to be in the parade.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be kind of a cool addition to our parade. But thanks to Bruce Carmichael out in California, he was, graduated from Newton in '74.
Okay.
And he contacted me a couple years ago, and he said, "Hey, I heard through the grapevine that you got some projects with your courthouse lighting, and I'd like to help out if I could." So he's been a wonderful, wonderful, grateful heart to give the monies he's given to have the arches built, to have the new trailer, new lights, new garland. But it's just amazing that he reached out like that. So we appreciate him. I'm trying to think. There's lots of folks. Here's a guy, and I'll put a little ad in for him. His name's Scott Vanderscore, VS Fabworks, for building and designing to make the freestanding arches. And he really gave us a great price on it.
And you said they'll last forever, basically.
They'll last longer than this Steve Knight will last.
Okay.
So, if the tradition, if people keep giving, and this thing will go on for years and years to come beyond my lifetime. But excited about that. And then I got to thank the chamber, and that's Kaylee Marchant, and also the Newton Main Street Aaron Yeager for their input into this wonderful night of Friday after Thanksgiving. And then also, not even the courthouse lights, but the Maytag Park lights.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the holiday
Clement
lights.
Mackey and involved the big donor in that, and also the splash pads all decorated.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
And I'd seen that today, and
That's
I
going
thought,
to be
wow,
nice.
look at that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Newton is looking pretty festive.
Yeah, it's looking pretty festive.
And then don't forget about the tremendous Christmas experience.
Yes, out at the Jasper County.
At the Historical Museum. I want to do a podcast too with Jamie Murphy for the holiday lights at Maytag Park, and of course with Larry Hurto too about the tremendous Christmas experience, because Newton has just, and of course the courthouse lights have been there for years. I can remember that when I was a kid, as you can too,
Sure.
Steve. But the holiday lights are new, and and so is the tremendous Christmas experience. And Iowa and the community have just really embraced all of that, and it's making Newton more and more festive. And I just love it. If you're a person who gets into the Christmas spirit every year, Newton is the place to be.
You got that right.
Yeah.
And, my family, my dad, and our family, he was Mr. Christmas.
Yeah, you told me about that last year. It sounds like he was almost like Santa Claus.
He was, and he loved it, and so now that's my title in our family.
I bet.
And we were just talking about Christmas today, but where we're going to meet and what that kind of thing. But I just I can't thank folks through the years to keep this thing going. And appreciate the donations and appreciate you and your podcast.
Well, we're happy to spread the word for this. Now, how is that ceremony going to go on the Friday after Thanksgiving anyway? Do you start it off, or do they parade? Is the parade started off, or how does that work?
We usually have the countdown at 6 o'clock. Well, we're going to have the countdown at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And then as soon as the lights come on, the parade will start.
Okay.
And then with all the other festivities going on, there'll be a lot of fun. I know I'll be on the west side of the courthouse for the countdown, if folks want to gather there. And
are you going to be singing for us? Will you be entertaining? Because you've been known to do that.
Well, I have, and I enjoy that, and I'll probably do a little singing. But my cousin Kyle Reynolds, they have a musical family, and they're going to be up there this year. He called me and said, "Could you use some music?" And I said, "That sounds like a winner."
There you go.
Those kids are so musical. They're going to come up and do some carols and some Christmas songs, so it'll be real festive.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks to God bless your dad, and the people who first put this together, and you and your family and all the other people who have pitched in to do this. It is fantastic. I think some people have called it Iowa's biggest Christmas tree.
Yes, I've heard that before.
And it is absolutely wonderful. And I'm looking forward to seeing it again this year, along with the holiday lights and the splash pad lights and the tremendous Christmas experience. The whole thing, as I mentioned earlier, just adds to all the festivities. If people do want to donate to this, Steve, and I know you're not, you don't spread the word very much, but that's kind of what this podcast is all about, letting people know about things. If they do want to make a donation to the Courthouse Lighting Fund, how can they do that?
They can send their donation to the Jasper County Auditor, Box 944, Newton, Iowa 50208. Or if they would like to call me, my cell phone number is 641-521-6419. And I'd be more than happy to pick up their donation and take it to the courthouse unless they want to send it in the mail. But thank you, folks, very, very much. Thank you, Jamie, for having me as your guest today.
Glad to do it. Our interview guest has been Steve Knight, all about the courthouse lighting in downtown Newton. Come on out to the festivities the Friday after Thanksgiving. You are going to enjoy it. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Out and About with Jamie Grout. Other sponsors include Lynette Baker, Halo Branded Solutions. They don't just have calendars and t-shirts. They have tech items and retail brands. Check them out. Get a hold of Lynette. You can find her business card on the sponsors page of outandaboutwithjamiegrout.com. Also, Westside Java Coffee Bar, they donate a prize every Sunday for Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast trivia. Another coffee house is over in Grinnell, Saints Rest, and I want to congratulate Sam Cox, who's the new mayor of Grinnell, but she's also the proprietor of Saints Rest Coffee House. And they also have a prize that they give out, those delicious monster cookies from Saints Rest. And you'll enjoy those. I've had those myself over at St. Rest. They're absolutely delicious. Made Right Sandwich Shop, another one who donates those $25 certificates to Made Right. They not only have great sandwiches there, but they serve breakfast 7 days a week at the Made Right. And also B. Nicole Salon, who donates those haircuts every week from B. Nicole. They're over by the Chamber of Commerce in downtown Grinnell, too. Another fine sponsor of the Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast. Until next time, Grout is out. See ya.